I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm feeling very like America right now, and it's like, there's better countries, but what can you do? Hello. Okay, I hope this is working. I kind of have a different like angle happening right now, just because like when I was filming my Get Ready With Me, like the angle was fine for like that, but like I want the lighting to be better, like head on talking to you guys. I don't know. So yeah, we have a different little setup. Also, just ignore the background, okay? I'm not about to drop like $1 billion on a freaking sheet to hang up. I'm lazy. Also, I'm moving out in 2 months. That seems obnoxious. Where would I put the sheet when I'm in a dorm? Can't just fucking hang up a sheet in a dorm. Anyways, hello, what's up? This is going to be a birth control video. And it's not all around birth control education. Well, like kind of. I don't know, maybe. It's about the birth control implant, but also I'll be like discussing like sex and stuff. Whoa. Yeah, also this look, we're gonna ignore that my eyelashes are coming off, okay? Great. Okay. So, now that I've just spent 20 minutes talking about nothing, we can actually discuss what most people here came for. So pretty much the birth control implant. I don't know how I'm going to like just like segue into this, so I'm just gonna say it. The birth control arm implant. That is a thing that I have. And this is gonna be like me just kind of educating people on it, because I remember when I was getting it in, even though it was only like 3 months ago, there weren't a ton of videos on it that like, I don't know, when I looked it up, maybe it's changed since then, I didn't like find any videos like about really like how it happens, like what the side effects are, like for teen girls. Like there were like people in their 20s and stuff that were talking about it, but it's like, as a teenager, I wanted to know what I was getting myself into. Pretty much, I'll move my arm up. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's a little dot right there on my arm. And that is like, I guess a scar, from me getting it in. It's like right here. I can touch it actually. So it starts about here. It's about like this big. Yeah, like that's, and it's a plastic little rod that is filled with hormones. I don't really understand the like logistics and scientific part of it, but pretty much what I have is nexplanon. I think that there's one other one called like axplanon, I don't know, but I think there's another one, but I have nexplanon. And pretty much what happened is this took a long time for me to get it in, and it was pretty upsetting, to be honest, because I really wanted to have it in by April. No real like specific reason, just I figured like that's a good like time to get it because like my birthday. Also like I read a lot of things where like side effects could last for months, and I didn't want to get it in like June and then go to college in 2 months and still have side effects while I was just starting off in college, because that would have been really shitty. So I called them in February. I think I called them in February, and they were like, you have to wait a month until, okay, yeah. I got there in February, and I was like, hey man, I want the fucking implant, just put it in my arm right now, thanks. And they were like, about that, you gotta wait a month just for like the consultation. And I was like, cool, great, I guess. And then I waited a month. Oh no, I got it in March. No, this all happened beginning in March. I got my months wrong. I forgot that May was a month, even though May was the month I got it. Great. So I called them in March and I was like, hey, I want to get it in. And they're like, okay, you gotta wait a bit for your consultation. And I'm like, fuck, that sucks. So I went to my pediatrician and I was like, hey, since I'm not 18 yet, because it's March and I turned 18 in April, I'm gonna talk to you about it and maybe you can slide me in quicker. And she's like, nah, you still gotta wait a fucking month. And I was like, wow, this sucks. I want it now. So I waited a month and then April rolled around, and it was right before my birthday, and I was like, oh hell yeah, like I'm about to go on spring break, I'll have birth control on spring break, it'll be great. But then I went and they were like, yeah, so what's gonna happen here is you're gonna sit down and talk to the doctor for 5 minutes about something you already knew was going to happen. Pretty much the biggest waste of my time. I was very upset. I had to waste a whole fucking month to do the drive to the doctor. Took 20 minutes longer than my appointment with the doctor. So just to put that in perspective, I wasted like a copay, fucking whatever, to sit for like 3 minutes with my doctor just for her to hand me a pamphlet and be like, you just sure? And I'd be like, yeah, I fucking want it. So I sat with my doctor and I was like, yo, I want that fresh nexplanon. And she was like, have you looked at other options? And I'm like, yeah, I don't want the pill because I didn't think the pill was a good fit for me. I can't really swallow pills to begin with, so I feel like it would have just stressed me out. I didn't want the IUD just because I don't like the idea of having something just like shoved up your vagina. I know it works for some people, so like I'm not saying it's bad. I don't think any form of birth control is bad. But I didn't think that would be a good fit for me either. And then I didn't want the ring and I didn't want the shot. So this seemed like the truly best option compared to like condoms, I guess. And so I was like, yeah, this just seems like the good one for me. And she was like, okay, so here's a pamphlet, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna wait a whole nother month until you can get it in, which was really upsetting. So pretty much to get nexplanon, I don't know if all doctors do this, because when you read about it online, there's like 2 times you can get it. You can get it the 5 days during your period, or you can get it like anytime after that, I think. But my doctor specifically, they do it the 5 days that you're on your period, specifically if they have time, they want to get it in within the first 3 days that you're on your period. And so when I was there in April at my consultation, she was like, yeah, just call us in May when you start your period, and then we'll fit you in whenever you can, because the appointment to get the implant and really only takes like 15 minutes, and then you have to include like the time where you're like waiting afterwards, so like 30 minutes max. And I was like, oh, well, like today's the last day of my period, can I just get it now? And she was like, no, like you need to get it like in the early stages of your period. And I was like, man, fucking sucks, I have to wait another month. So it's 2 months in of me just trying to get it, which it's really infuriating process. Obviously there's more frustrating processes to be going through, but I guess when you want something, it's just like time goes by really slow. But I was like, all right, whatever. And so my AC just turned on. So I called them in May, first day that I got my period, and I was like, hey, I just got my period, please, like, can I get it in like today, tomorrow? Like, I want it now. I don't want to like miss a slot, I suppose. And the nurse practitioner or whatever, the person who answers the phone, she's like, yeah, my doctor can fit you in tomorrow, but you have to miss school. And I'm like, all right. Didn't really know how to like put that on like a pass for school being like, getting birth control, so I was just like, doctor's appointment. I just salivated. I went to the doctor and I sat down, and I was sitting in that room with all of the fucking birth control shit next to me for like 20 minutes alone, and it was the most stressful 20 minutes ever, because like you're looking at it, it's like that's something that's going inside me. There's a fuck ton of gauze, and I was like, oh god, I'm gonna bleed a lot, this is it, I'm gonna die. And I get a little bit nervous about shots because I don't love needles. So I was a little bit nervous about this, but here comes like the education part about like what it really is. So the birth control implant is a little rod, like I was telling you guys, and what happens when you go into the room is, I really wanted to record it if I'm being honest, but I didn't because I felt like that would have been weird. Is you go in, you sit down, the lady goes over, your doctor goes over like all the info about it, and then so you sit down and she's like, okay, I need to put like this numbing thing on you, and I'm pretty sure it was like a numbing shot. Yes, it was. Oh god, I totally remember now. So it's so like they get a needle and they like slip it under your skin, and I don't know if this is how all doctors do it, but damn, this was the worst experience out of the whole process. They get the needle with the numbing stuff in it, and they like rub the needle underneath your skin where the bar is supposed to go. And so like this, like it's pretty big. So like they're rubbing a needle, like, and you can feel it. You can feel the metal rubbing against your flesh, and it's the grossest thing. It takes like 12 seconds, so it's really not that bad, but me, over dramatic, over exaggerating, also hates needles. It was pretty bad. But it numbs it, and then she takes it out, and like you literally don't feel it coming out because you're already getting numb. But you have to wait a couple minutes for the numbing to like happen, and then I like looked away. Well, not really. I like looked from my side eye, but I was like looking away of like when it was happening. But pretty much like it looks like a little gun, like a plastic gun, and it has the implant in it, and like they just like shove it into that hole where the needle was, and then just like shoot the implant in, and then they pull it out. And that didn't hurt at all. I didn't feel it. Like you could hear the noise of like the little like gun going off, being like, I don't know, it doesn't make a gun noise. It's not like, it's like makes a clicking noise because it's plastic. Yeah, and then the implant's in, and I was bleeding a lot though, and I think it's just because I bleed a lot like in general, just like when I get cuts or anything. And so she put a band-aid on it, and then she put another band-aid on it, and then she put gauze. And the gauze, I think, just like keeps like the pressure, I guess, I don't know. But yeah, and then that's it. It really takes like 2 minutes to get it in. Well, not really, like it takes like 30 seconds, but like the whole process of like numbing, waiting, gauze, it takes like 2 minutes. And yeah, it's like a really simple process. It's not scary at all. For like people who are like really worried about it hurting, it doesn't hurt because they do numb it. And yeah, and then I had to wait for like 15-20-ish minutes afterwards. They always make you wait 10 minutes afterwards, because you could be really lightheaded from the process. But I had to wait like 20 minutes because I was a little bit more dizzy and lightheaded because I hadn't really had food that day. But yeah, it wasn't that like huge of a deal. And yeah, that's like getting it in. But like, I guess what people really want to know is it effective? Are there side effects? So if you Google like the birth control implant, a lot of like different things come up about side effects or like how effective it is. So the side effects that I got, the biggest one that can happen is you either have like constant like spotting, bleeding, like your period is pretty much just like very light but non-stop for like 2 months. Another side effect is your period is pretty much gone, like not gone because that's obviously unhealthy, but it's like it's very, very light compared to what it used to be. And so since I got mine on the first day of my period, I have a very, very heavy period. Like it's really gross. Well, it's not gross, but it's just like I hate dealing with it because it's 5 days of just like so much blood. It's like I don't know if I should be alive by the end of it. But by day 3 of my period, so 2 days after, no, not day 3, it was like day 4, because I got it on the second day of my period. I called them on my first day. But like day 4, I didn't even have my period anymore. I literally had my period for the first day, then the day that I got nexplanon, and then the day after, and then the next day after. I was like, I didn't have it at all, which was kind of a relief, because I don't like dealing with periods. But the shitty thing is, I didn't really Google this about like if there's an in-between side effect. And I got the side effect of having, I don't know how to say this without it being pretty gross. Pretty much I have just like constant like old blood coming out of me. So if you know what that is, you know what that is. But if you don't know what it is, it's pretty much like, it looks like really like thick, like brown discharge. And it's just old blood that's coming out. And I had that for a pretty long time, actually. So I got it on May 5th. I don't know why I said at the beginning that I've had it for 3 months. I guess it just feels that way. I like completely forgot it was in after a week. But for like a good month, actually, I had that pretty gross like old blood situation. And at first I didn't realize what it was. For the first 2 weeks that I had it, I didn't wear like panty liners or anything, because I was like, oh, it's just gonna go away. But then for the last 2 weeks, it didn't go away, and I was like, fuck, I'm ruined. I literally ruined all of my underwear in the first 2 weeks. So just all of my underwear was just like stained and gross. But the next 2 weeks I wore like panty liners because I didn't want to deal with that. Yeah, but like it wasn't bad. It was just like if you wanted to do anything sexual, I suppose, with a person, you might want to let them know beforehand, because that could be a thing that makes itself known in a sexual situation, I suppose. But it like wasn't like horrible. It wasn't like, I don't know what you guys are picturing, but it wasn't like I was like had my period for a whole entire month. That's not at all what it was like. I don't know anyone personally that's had that side effect, but I only know like 2 or 3 people that actually have the birth control implant. And one of them actually got it removed because she just didn't like how it was. And that might just be a case for some people. Some people just like prefer pills or the IUD over it. But yeah, so my side effect wasn't horrible, but like I Googled it because I was really, really worried, because it had been a whole month of me having it and I was getting nervous. I was like, this seems like a lot coming out of me, but I'm pretty sure that's normal. If it goes on for more than 2 months, I was reading, then that's when you should probably call your doctor. But it stopped for me about like 2-ish weeks ago, so I had it for like a month and 1 week or something. But yeah, it wasn't like that bad. And then I guess afterwards my arm hurt for like the first 2 days. It was super bruised. Again, I bleed easily and I bruise really, really easily. So I was really, really bruised up, but and it was like sore to like move my arm. But then after those 2 days I was chilling. It wasn't like that big of a deal. I guess what else everyone is thinking is it effective? I think so. I have I've had sex since I got it in, and I think it's effective. I haven't gotten pregnant yet, so I think we're chilling. However, the one thing about having sex with the implant in is that if you're still like, you should still wear condoms. It's pretty much like, I guess, where I'm trying to get at. Like, get tested like with your partner, and then if you both are STD free, then have a fucking free-for-all. I guess if you guys don't have STIs or STDs or any diseases that can be transmitted without a condom, then I think you're fine. You can just depend on the implant. But if you are unsure, or if you are with a partner and you guys haven't really discussed it, or if you guys don't plan on getting tested together, or if you just don't know your STD, STI status, doing a condom is probably good, because the implant cannot protect you or prevent you from getting STDs and STIs. So like being safe, I guess, is the number one situation with that. Because while this has one of the higher effectiveness rates of all the birth controls, it has a 99.9% effectiveness rate. And most birth controls do have that as well, but this is even more effective than getting your tubes tied, and I think that's pretty lit because people do that like in desperate attempts to make sure they don't get pregnant. So the fact that there's a birth control that where you don't need to get a surgery like that done, that's pretty cool. So yeah, just use condoms. Like, condoms aren't the worst. I don't know why people dislike them, but yeah, it's not an issue. And then also just like an all over like fact thing, I guess, the birth control implant can last up to 3 years, and again, the effectiveness is 99.9%, and you can get it taken out whenever you want. I remember when I was getting it, I had a friend who was very unsupportive about it, and she was like, well, like, what if you want to get pregnant in like 3 months, which, like, I don't know why the fuck I'd want to get pregnant in 3 months, but she was just like saying, like, in general, if I want to get pregnant within the next 3 years, what would you do? And you can get it taken out, and then your hormones should adjust within the week following after getting it out. Maybe it takes longer for some people, maybe it doesn't, maybe it's immediate. But you can get it taken out, and then your hormones can just readjust to everything. So I think that's pretty cool that you can just stop using it and it's fine. I like it. I have a scar, and I've like never really had a scar before, which is kind of cool. If you want like more info on it, I hope I touched all the bases that people were wanting to get at, but if you want more info on it, just let me know in the comments, or I can make another video. I plan on doing like 2 more like vagina videos, I guess. So I want to do one about like UTIs and yeast infections and just like keeping shit clean, and also periods, because I feel like that's pretty yeah, the birth control implant I think is definitely worth it. If you have insurance, most insurances do cover it, and if not, I don't know how much it is, so I want to say it's $800, but don't take my word for it. So I think it's pretty worth it though, because it's 3 years of pretty much guaranteed non-pregnancy, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, so this is my little birth control implant video. I don't know where else to go with this, but subscribe. If you're new here, subscribe. How fun. And if not, thanks for being subscribed. Like, comment, let me know if there's like anything else you guys wanted to know about this, or if there's more information that you want to know. Make more videos later on. And yeah, this is the video, so thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next one.